3 years ago, I walked into the gym with one goal in mind. One day, I'm stepping on a bodybuilding stage. Every bulk, every cut, every time I looked in the mirror and thought, still not big enough, it was for that. But before bodybuilding, I was a gymnast. I competed since I was a kid and eventually made it D1 at the University of Illinois. I competed in the NCAA in massive arenas, bright lights, packed crowds, and real pressure. I know what it feels like to perform when it matters. But this is different. In gymnastics, I had coaches, teammates, a structure I'd followed my entire life. This time though, it's just me. For the last 3 years, I've been training as a natural bodybuilder, trying to build as much size as I possibly could without touching anything. Because the last thing I want to do is step on stage for my first show and look like I don't belong in classic physique. And honestly, there were a lot of times I didn't think I'd be ready. My legs were a weak point bad. So this past year has been all about bringing them up. Progressive overload, eating when I didn't want to, cutting, bulking, cutting again, absolute chaos. But now, it's time. Right now I'm on the NPC Natural Show in Vegas' website, May 9th, and if I click this button, then I'm officially 12 weeks out. Holy shit, why am I nervous right now? And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, I am registered. There's absolutely no backing out now. That means the clock is running. Roughly 15 weeks to get as absolutely shredded as I can while holding on to all of the muscle I've built over the last 3 years. This isn't just prep, this is a test. My goal is simple. When I step on that stage in May, I want to know that I squeezed out every last ounce of effort that I had in me. I want to be proud of what I built, win or lose. Right now I'm sitting at about 10% body fat, which is already pretty much the leanest I've ever been. I've never seen myself at 5 or 6%, and I genuinely have no idea what I'm going to look like. And that's exciting. But here's the real challenge. I don't want prep to consume my entire identity. I still have my coaching business, my relationships, my content, my life outside of the gym. I don't want to become the guy that only talks about macros and cardio. So this series is about chasing something big without letting everything else fall apart. And I'm going to be bringing you with me. Training, diet, recovery, the good days, the bad days, even the travel I still plan on doing while in prep. And one more thing, I'm doing this naturally. There's a belief on social media right now that you need a pharmacy in your bloodstream just to build a serious physique. I've been natural my entire life, and I get comments daily saying that I'm on gear. Well, this show is drug tested. So not only am I stepping on stage, I'm proving something to them and to myself. Now here's the game plan. I'm going to be lifting 6 days a week, burning roughly 1,200 calories per week through cardio, usually 4 sessions on the bike. Most of my lifts are going to be staying the same because consistency builds muscle, not chaos. But leg days, we're doubling down. More hip thrusts, more glute work, which if you told gymnast me years ago that I'd be doing hip thrusts, I would have laughed in your face. The main priority though is strength. If my strength holds, my muscle holds. That's the game. Because when calories drop and hormones dip, it becomes a mental battle, and I refuse to let my numbers crash. Nutrition right now is about 2,300 calories, 185 grams of protein, 225 carbs, and 80 grams of fat. It's manageable, structured, and meal prepping is the only reason that it works. Actually, I do have to meal prep before training today, so let's go do that. All right, it's time to get some of this meal prep done because I'm not gonna wanna do this when I get home for sure. I'm gonna be gassed after cardio. Got my trusty food scale here, which has been super clutch during this prep. Really weigh out everything that I'm eating to make sure that there's no guesswork, which, you know, a lot of the times is what results in not results, which is what we don't want. So this is my mega cast iron that has been an absolute lifesaver. The fuck are my measuring cups, bro? First up, I need about a cup and a half of edamame. How could you not like edamame? It's fantastic. A cup of corn, roughly. I put this in one of my meal prep videos the other day. Somebody was like, oh, corn has 0 nutritional value. Bro, who said I was eating it for the nutritional value? It's fucking corn, bro. It's delicious. Low in calories too. Like, if that's gonna help me fill myself up on these meals during prep, right? Like, by all means, eat some damn corn, you know what I mean? Like, 3 cups of broccoli. In case you couldn't tell, this is gonna be a very veggie-full prep. Is that a word? Close enough. Oh, God damn, bro. I'm gonna just fucking eyeball it. Fucking hell. All right. That's good enough. That's a ton of veggies. That should last me the week. Toss a little bit of oil, not too much because oil is fairly high in calories. I'm gonna need some salt and pep. I invested in these electric salt and pepper shakers, and might be the best thing I've ever purchased in my life. These things are so sick. Might be saying, oh, dude, you go to the gym, you can grind your salt, but like after a long day of lifting, after hitting back or something, dude, my forearms are gas, you know? Like, I gotta save my energy. No, I'm just fucking with you, dude. They're just cool, all right? Like, They're just fun to use. Just a little bit of Cajun seasoning and then some of this Chipotle seasoning. All right, veggies are good. I'm gonna pop these in the air fryer for we'll go 15 minutes there. Now on to the meat. I'm gonna take you over here while I do this. On this prep, I'm gonna be switching it up every week or so between probably just ground beef. I'm going with this 96% lean ground beef. I'm gonna be switching it up between ground beef and probably just chicken breast to keep it interesting. I never get sick of ground beef. I don't know what it is. I guarantee you're gonna be finishing cardio tonight thinking about this ground beef. I'm gonna be splitting it up into about 6 ounces per serving. Now my cast iron's hot. I can toss on that first piece, second piece. Now we're good there. When you cook on a cast iron consistently, and you take care of your cast irons, meat tastes delicious. And if you season it properly, like you don't need that many crazy sauces that are just gonna add in, you know, a bunch of bullshit calories, bro. I could eat this every day for a year and not get sick of it. Nah, that might be pushing it. I don't know about that one. I might be hamming right now. Dude, I'm very stoked for this prep though. I've wanted to do this for a really long time. Funny story too, dude. When I was looking for a show, I originally was gonna do this show in basically San Francisco in May, right around the same timeline, because it's the only one I could find. But that one, I didn't realize I would have been competing against fools that are enhanced and like on steroids and shit, which would have been hilarious. And I was gonna do it too and like, you know, really commit to it. But then I thought about it and I'm like, maybe there's a natural show. And then I got lucky and I found this natural show in Vegas, which is gonna be way more ideal for sure for my first show. I think I could definitely step on stage with other people that are, you know, enhanced or whatever, but that's down the road, you know, definitely not for my first show. I typically eat my ground beef medium rare. It's what I prefer. 135 degrees Fahrenheit. Other big thing that, you know, I would really recommend you guys get if you're gonna meal prep is this meat thermometer, which is honestly the greatest thing ever invented. Stick it in your meat. It tells you exactly when it's done, exactly when it's medium rare. There's no guessing. There's no taking it off, putting it back on. It's simple and it's easy and it's convenient and it results in the perfect meat every single time. Now, while that is cooking, I'm just gonna divvy out my rice and some of my veggies. Do you wanna say hi to my YouTube video? Guys, say what's up. This is my maid, Kai. This is my girlfriend, Kai. She's very shy right now because she just showered.
I'm shy because I just showered.
She's getting shredded too.
Like this?
Yeah, one of those. Bro, you're supposed to be cooking for me. What kind of maid are you? Yeah, I cook for you all the time. Meal prep containers. Would highly recommend you invest in glass ones. It makes meal prepping much more enjoyable. All right, now my rice is done and I've already weighed it out perfectly. It's about 1 cup of white rice. Still need carbs, even when you're cutting, guys. They're also delicious. All right, ground beef is ground beefed and already weighed it out, already measured it out. Now I just evenly distribute that among my meal prep containers. Ground beef. Oh, this looks so good. All right, that's looking pretty even there. If you got the veggies, same thing. I know the weight. I mean, honestly, the biggest difference maker for not only me, but also my clients who see results and who don't see results is always, every single time, whether or not they're meal prepping. You know, if you're in a point yourself where struggling to see results, whatever, if you're not meal prepping, I think you gotta ask yourself the question of like, how bad do you want this, bro? And it doesn't take that long. This took me about 45 minutes to an hour and it was pretty enjoyable. I had a good time. About to have an even better time when I smack this after the gym. You know what I mean? That's what we're munching on for this first week of prep and couldn't be more excited. I will be making a bunch of, you know, full day of eatings on exactly what I'm eating during this prep to really, you know, lose weight and really get shredded here. But for now, this is the meal for later tonight. And I'm very excited to go train. We got shoulders and arms on the menu today, and I'm gonna bring my camera, do a little vlogging. Meals prepped, ready to go, locked in there. Boom, boom, and boom. And just like that, a week of consistency. I will see y'all at the gym. All right, so I totally forgot my microphones at home because I'm a genius, but I still wanted to show you what this lift looked like, so I grabbed a ton of cinematic clips for the vlog. Today was shoulders and arms, aka SHARMS, which is honestly one of my favorite days to run in the gym. Since I was starting with shoulders, I had to actually warm up properly, quick stretch, get some blood moving, and of course, I pounded my pre-workout. It's stim-free, just beta-alanine and a bunch of caffeine-free ingredients, so I don't crash later. I opened up with the Smith machine overhead press for my front delts. I kept the first few sets pretty light, which I highly recommend, especially on shoulder movements. No ego lifting this early in prep. I worked up to a few solid working sets with a 45 on each side. When I do these, I keep my back flat against the pad and control the eccentric on the way down, slow and controlled so I can keep maximum tension on my front delts. Once I was feeling good and the pump started coming in, the pump cover of course came off and I threw on a little bit more weight before calling it there. Then I moved on to triceps with the old reliable easy bar pushdowns. The biggest thing here is keeping your elbows locked in and fixed the entire time. Every rep should just be your triceps extending, nothing else. These kicked my ass. I was also weirdly proud of this shot I got through the cable machine on manual focus. It's the small wins that count here. I was a little pissed here because I was feeling a little bit weaker than I usually am, which is normal during a cut. Strength dips, they happen, but the trade-off is that the pumps are absolutely insane. You can literally see me admiring it in the mirror like an absolute tool before moving on to lateral raises. I built up to the 40s and then 35s here. Lateral raises with dumbbells can get messy fast, so I focus hard on keeping my traps out of it and not swinging the weight, not using momentum. I also like throwing in a few partials at the end to really fry the side delts. Then it was finally time for biceps, which is always a good time. I went with incline curls to target the long head. I run this almost every bicep session. The key is keeping your arms slightly behind your body the entire time. That stretch at the bottom is what really lights up the long head. Same principle as the pushdowns, elbows stay fixed. To wrap up triceps, I stepped outside for overhead machine extensions. These are a staple for the long head. Nothing gives me a stretch like these do. They can feel a little bit weird on the elbows sometimes, but keeping them tucked usually solves that. I took every single set of these till failure. Last bicep movement was the preacher curl machine. I don't use it often, but my forearms were cooked, and it was also right next to the tricep machine, so it just made sense. It still does the job and absolutely torches the short head. The pump at this point was honestly insane. My biceps were throbbing to the point where it almost hurt. I had to hit some posing at the end here though, couple lat spreads, couple arm poses. Front double bicep felt really strong here, but posing is something I'm gonna have to keep dialing in every week during this prep because honestly, I am not the best at it. And then sadly, it was time for cardio.
All right, guys, a little update. Cardioed. We're all done. 33 minutes on the stationary bike. Kicking my ass. We had just hit 304 calories, which means I'm 2 to go. Ah, look at that. Last one out, as per usual. But lights are off. This was a sweet lift. The only thing getting me through this cardio right now has been knowing that my meal prep is waiting for me. It's time to go find that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am back from the gym and we're absolutely cooked. That was honestly a crazy session, and I'm very glad I meal prepped before training because I have about zero energy right now. But this is it. Week 1 is officially in the books. I'm excited, nervous, and honestly have no idea how this is gonna unfold. But I do know this, for the next 12 weeks, you are not just gonna be watching a prep, you're watching me find out what I'm really made of. That's a wrap for today's video. Thanks for being here at the very beginning of the journey. Next week, we keep pushing, and see you then.